which is okay. 2, we're gonna go out to another paramotor spot. Oh man, it's getting so warm out too that I probably should be wearing shorts, but luckily I always have a pair of shorts on me, right? So right now what we're doing is I have a little bit of time. We're gonna go shoot out to a different beach spot, right? Because I've been blowing up mine a lot and I don't want to keep blowing up my spot, right? So that being said, I'm gonna go down south, right? We're gonna go a little bit farther south than I typically would, right? So we're gonna go to a different beach spot. So right now too, I wanna text a couple of the other pilots, let them at least know. Okay, just sent out the first text. I don't really like to typically text and drive, but so right now what I gotta go do too is I want to go get some fuel, right? Because I literally flew until I ran out of gas today, which was pretty sweet. All right, so let's go this way. I want to alarm all my cameras, right? Because a lot of times when I walk around the yard in the morning, like I was just doing today, I normally disarm my cameras because it's so annoying to keep getting all these alerts on my cameras. So there we go. Oh, all right, back in action. Perfect. So they're on, everything's active, everything is good. So seatbelt, right? We gotta wear our seatbelt when we drive. When I do these live streams, I kind of get a little distracted. So anyway, so like I was saying, dude, I've been flying so much lately, and what's really exciting about today is I'm gonna have a chance to go to just a totally different island. Like, I could easily just go right back to the same island that we were at yesterday, flying around and stuff like that. But the reason why I'm not going back to that island to do that is because a few other pilots went there later on that day, and I'm not trying to blow up the area, right? Like, as bad as I want to, because it's always just so much easier to, like, just go there and hook up and go and fly. I'm just gonna go to a different spot. But first, I gotta go get fuel, and then after that, I'll be able to get ourselves all set up and drive over to whatever beach spot I'm trying to go to. So which I am excited about. But first, I have to go get fuel, which I almost thought I forgot my wallet. And really, it's just nice to get the chance to go somewhere different. You know, I want to go all the way south, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to go to a different spot and then just buzz around. Really, I could actually fly all the way from where I'm thinking about going at, from where I normally launch at. If I do that, which I'm not against doing, but it's like I'm always flying at the same spot. So I just want to go to a different spot. Maybe the farther south we go, the clearer the water will look. Maybe we'll see some dolphins. So let's just go see what happens. I'm going to check too after I get gas, make sure there's no TRFs, you know, temporary flight restrictions anywhere too where I'm about to go, because there's nothing worse than driving somewhere a little bit of a ways and then getting halted because you realize there's a restriction going on. But you know, that was when Biden was in office and was always flying back and forth to Delaware. It would definitely screw up the southern New Jersey side of flying sometimes. So it just depended on, like, all right, so real quick, I'm going to get some gas. So give me just a minute, guys. I'll be right back. New Jersey, they pump your fuel, but I pump mine in. Thank you. All right, we're pumped up and we're good to go. Ooh. Wow, this guy with a big boat just came whipping in here. Dude, it's so nice out, guys. So let's go get ourselves down south, right? This is exciting. So really trying to text other pilots and let them all know. Rip. Okay, so one of the pilots can't come and make it, which is okay. Alright, that's fine. Yo, Clayton, what's up, dude? Going down to... Oh, man, I'm in the wrong lane. That is... Okay, hold on a second. Is there anybody next to me? No. Hold on. Making an illegal turn. Ah! It's okay. So, Clayton, what's up, dude? We're going out to a different island, right? Which I'm not ever really too nervous to talk about, because... It's so much bigger. It's way better to go fly at too. It's like just the way to go. So we are gonna go down south. I love my new Seiko 3 24 meter. Oh, dude, that's epic, dude. Clayton, I'm actually in the process of really working on my next glider now, because I do have my next new paramotor in the shop, which should be all finished within the next like week or two. I'm actually just waiting on a couple parts, which isn't the end of the world or anything like that. I just wish that how do you say it? I just wish that I could get myself a different glider, you know. I'm definitely want to get a new one. I'm sorry, I'm just over here staring at this light trying to get on the parkway. Just trying to take my time here. So Clayton, dude, that's awesome, man. How many flights have you got in on it? And are you pretty much at like the top of the weight for the 24 meter, or do you have some room there still? I'm just curious, because I'm fully loaded on my 22 meter. Like I really, every time I put any more weight on, I'm definitely kind of over, which is, it's okay. It's not the worst. Alright, so you got 3 flights right in the middle. Is that what you say? Awesome. How close are those fires to you? Oh yeah, dude, the fires are close, man. I mean, like, they're not far at all. So it's a little bit closer south I mean, close, yeah, more like when you think about central New Jersey, it's more like a little bit under central New Jersey, right? And like where I'm at, that's like an hour ride maybe from on this exact parkway that we're on right now. Those fires are like just about an hour that way. I'm sorry, the camera's shaking a little bit. Let's see if I can speed this up a little bit. Try to like stop that shaking. But yeah, so also you said 3 flights right in the middle. Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. Dude, that's so sweet. But yeah, those fires aren't that far away, man, which is a little scary. It sucks because, you know, yesterday I went out for a flight and I actually saw the smoke in the sky. It was crazy. And now, kind of going farther away from that, like, I'm gonna do a video about my flight yesterday, of course. Dude, I was at the beach yesterday for like, I don't know, 4.5 hours, and I flew for like, I don't know, 3.5 hours or something like that. It was incredible. I flew like 15 totally different flights. I did a couple live streams on TikTok, because dude, when I do a TikTok live stream when I'm flying, holy cannoli, I get a lot of people on there, to the point where it's like, I almost get like stage fright because there's that many people watching at one time. And it's exciting, you know? And I do love doing my live streams here on YouTube, but they just don't get as many views as my others do. So, what was that? Wow, awesome. Nice and smooth. So yeah, yesterday's flight was actually a rough flight. It was very bumpy because I think now too, it's like because it's finally warming up so much around here that I have been told that you can get thermals off of the beach sand, you know. And it was funny because yesterday, every time I was flying more over the beach sand, I was a lot of bumps. Like it was just not so smooth. But then when I flew over the ocean a little bit, it was a smoother flight. So that's what made me believe that I was feeling thermals yesterday. But don't get me wrong though, that black hazy smoke that I saw way in the distance, like it was pretty far away. Like I don't even know if my GoPro really could see it, but I could see it when I was flying around. And when I tried going really high up, Clayton, it was really actually worse winds, and I was like going backwards. I flew backwards like a handful of times yesterday, where I kept telling myself, why do I keep going up this high? Every time I go up higher, the wind, I felt like I was getting smacked by a wall of wind, and I really was. And it was like a crazy wind shear coming from the north directly south. And I was trying to make a video yesterday of that fire smoke, you know what I mean? From where, you know, I typically fly out of. I hate going backwards. Yeah, Clayton, going backwards, it's sketchy because I feel like any wrong movement of what you do, the wing will collapse. But really, it's pretty impressive to know that the gliders are very strong, you know what I mean? And they don't really ever collapse just because of a little bit more wind, you know? But yeah, I definitely flew backwards a couple times yesterday, wishing that I had my speed bar hooked up. Because if I had my speed bar hooked up, I would have ate right through it. And I fly with my speed bar all the time. But I don't always have it hooked up though, you know? I have it like tied in together behind my neck and in my harness. So that like, because dude, I've realized that if you ever do a bad foot drag, or say you're flying low and any mistakes happen, and say you're able to bring your legs up and do like a dramatic butt slide, what I've learned is that as long as your speed bar is actually attached underneath your harness, you actually will most likely ruin your speed bar before you ruin your harness, right? And I know that firsthand. So what you guys know too, if you guys watch my videos, you guys know that I did a bad foot drag one time with the APCO glider, and I got too much drag and it brought me down to where I couldn't fly anymore, and I couldn't even run it out. I tried to. I was luckily got my legs in front of me and then did this bad butt drag on the airstrip, but luckily I sat right on my speed bar, and it just smoked the speed bar. So that's kind of why I love to fly to me, even if I'm not even using it. You know, it's just nice to have that as a secondary shield, I guess, to not ruin the whole bottom of your harness, which, dude, I cannot believe I didn't ruin my harness at all when that happened. But if that speed bar wasn't there, I would have had to buy a new harness no matter what. Hands down, would have had to. Would have had to. But yeah, so like I said, anyway, we're going to a different island, to a different adventure spot, which I'm pretty excited about. Dude, these freaking Napa guys drive so slow. You know what's funny too about the mechanic drivers, or they're not mechanics, but, well, maybe some are, but the drivers that drop off the tools to the mechanic shops, they're just normally older guys just trying to work a little bit, you know? Whoa. Oh, traffic just slowed down dramatically right there. You know, sometimes, you know, like on the parkway right here, you do have entryways that can be on the left or the right going southbound, right? Which is the way we're going south right now. And what I'm doing is, I just want to go fly at a different beach spot today. I don't always want to go to the same spot, for one. And two, it's not even cool to do that, because I found out this morning that where I flew at yesterday for a few hours, I didn't fly in one spot, of course. I always try to leave the area. That other pilots went later on that afternoon. And if they would have known that I was there, they would have actually flown in a different spot. You know, we always all try to be very smart about our flying, because really, all it's going to take is us blowing up one spot enough to make it so we can't do it in that spot anymore. But what's nice is the one island that I am actually talking about, there's a lot of kite surfers that go there, and please, if you guys know where that spot is that I'm talking about, don't bluntly just write it out right now or ask where I'm flying. If you guys really want to know, message me, you know, come find me on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Hit me up on there. I know on Facebook or YouTube you can't message me, but you can drop some comments on here. But don't, if you know where I'm at, I would just prefer you guys to leave it alone from the chat, because, you know, I'm not here to blow up these spots. Some of these spots too that I get to fly at aren't even my spots. Like, I look at these spots as some of the other pilot spots, because they introduced me to these spots once I started flying. When I first got my first paramotor and I got my first couple flights in, I really was thinking to myself, where am I going to be flying at? You know, where am I going to be flying at? I love the beach. It's obviously the ultimate cheat code to flying paramotor, especially in the beginning, which can be a bad thing though too, everybody. Like, you want to learn how to fly inland. Once you master flying inland, then you can fly anywhere. And it's really important to get your flights inland, because it's harder to do faster landings, harder takeoffs. Everything about it's just more difficult. When you fly at the beach, you can set up in a reverse launch. You can really stand there and just do a lot of hand movements, and then as long as you understand turning around, leaning back, and flying, it's all easy, right? So today, like I was saying earlier in the video, I have a little bit of time, and when I have a little bit of time, this is what I want to be doing. I shoot out. I'm so obsessed with flying. I would love to get a little flight. I would love to get a little flight in. Really have just a good time. Soak it all in, right? So that's what I do. You know, I fly all the time, and that's what's really funny. That's kind of why I like doing the live streams, even knowing that when I do my YouTube live streams, maybe they don't get a lot of views, which is totally okay. I just like to show people that I really do this a lot more than most people realize, and really, like, this is what I want to waste all my time on. You know, I just want to go out flying around. I want to master my landings. You know, I want to really key in my takeoffs with how I brake on my initial launch, right? Because a lot of people comment about how I'm a little heavy on my brakes with my takeoffs, but, you know, a lot of people aren't realizing what I'm feeling. You know, I'm feeling a lot of feeling a lot of like pressure, and when I'm feeling that pressure on my takeoffs, what I'll start to do is I'll start to actually brake. But what people don't realize is that I've repositioned my brake toggles, right? So they're not where they're factory at. And not only that, we tied in 2D steering, right? And if you guys don't know what that is, 2D steering is like another way of controlling the glider that I get to tie into my toggles. So now I get to control my wing tips instead of just the leading, or my trailing edge of the glider is the back of the glider, right? Which is what my toggles, my brakes, are actually connected to. But then on some gliders, you have these lines that are called your stabilo lines, right? These stabilo lines are actually your tip steering lines on some gliders. So when I got my glider, I had essentially on both sides had two different things to grab for steering, which is awesome, right? You have your brakes, your toggles, right? Which is your typical steering and how you land, how you take off. And then what's nice is that if you're in your fully trimmed out speed bar, right? Which is your most stressed out position of the glider. What's really nice is that now we have tip steering. And what's really cool about tip steering is you're able to steer with using tip steering, right? And because when you're in full speed bar and you're trimmed all the way out, your glider is now stressed out at its full max speed, its max payload, it's fully stressed out, right? And so now when you go to say use your brake toggles, because when you're stressing the glider out like that and you're using, let's say, your speed bar, right? What you're doing is you're bending the front of the glider down. So when you're bending the glider down, you're like bending it to be in its fastest position, right? And now, once you're doing that, if you were to go and touch your brakes, your toggles, your back, that's attached to your trailing edge, you're basically telling the glider to do two totally different things. And that's why your glider will come into a collapse, and a bad one too, by the way. So, and that's why a lot of times these gliders now have these tip steerings, which is your stabilo lines. And a lot of times, say if your glider doesn't even come with your tip steering now, like a lot of new gliders do, you can still grab your stabilo lines if you know which ones they are on your glider when you're fully trimmed out and you're fully speed bar out. Well, like I said, that's why it's really important for everybody to get proper training and really understand the idea of how the glider flies, because the glider, you know, can really take a collapse when you're doing things like that. When you're speed bar, when you're doing all kinds of things, right? So it's like, it's really important to understand what you're doing. And when you do things like speed bar and other things, you should be up really high. Because if you have a problem, like you do experience a collapse when we're in the air flying, what you do is you bring your hands back up. And you let your hand, and you actually got to let off of the speed bar. That's what you really need to let off on, because really you kind of want to be grabbing your brake still, because you don't want the glider to grab its load back because without you doing anything. Because what's going to happen is, say I bring my hands back up, I experience a collapse, I'm falling. Now I let off my speed bar and I let off my hands. What I'm doing is, when the glider would take its shape back, which 9 times out of 10 is going to take its shape back all on its own. If it takes its shape back and I keep my hands up, the glider is going to shoot or surge forward. And if it dives and I'm so low, we're going to whale the ground, right? So if the glider takes a dive, I got to brake check the glider basically when it takes that load. So if the glider takes its shape back, its load, if I can brake check it in time, it'll never overshoot over my head. That's why, like, it's really important to get the training. It's really important to understand the glider, because it's the glider we're flying, right? And if you just go up and act like you know what you're really doing and you haven't have a clue, it's really scary to think that you could just really get hurt if you come into a dangerous situation. And the really big thing on training is you need to train yourself on how not to get scared locked, because you need to always be prepared to throw your parachute, or how to understand how to control the situation that you're putting yourself through. Like, here, I need to actually drop a text too, because I forgot to actually text one of the pilots. Hey, I'm going down south for a flight. What's that street called that we always all go to? So the reason why I'm asking is that I do remember roughly the area of where I'm going to drive to, but there is one spot that's like really fun to actually launch at, because it'll put me near the water park and the rides, and also it'll put me near a lot of other things, which I can't wait to show all you guys. And what's really cool is that there's a lot of restaurants and bars on this island, so maybe we'll hit lunch at one of these spots. That would be super sick, but not even planned though. So oh man, this is about to be so much fun though. I actually really love just seeking out this flying adventure, and really I'm excited to come down south a little bit. And like I said, I don't really mind saying where I'm kind of going on this one. Oh, that's it. Okay. Almost there, Dave. If you would like to come out and join, maybe we'll even hit a restaurant for lunch. We'll see what he says to that, because really, it's always more fun when other pilots come out. But Pilot Dave right now is actually waiting on another prop. So, the one thing about paramotoring too is like these props are so fragile, and you can easily break or chip a prop just by moving them around. So it's like a whole nother thing to remember, respect, understand, take your time. No, a whole bunch of other people were there last night flying around, so I just want to keep away. Up. He's actually calling right now. Hey Dave, I'm doing a live stream right now. That's why I'm watching what I'm saying, if you understand what I mean. So like I'm doing the live, they know that we're going to another island down south. I'm glad that you texted me that, but no, the reason why I'm not going to where we were at yesterday was because after I was there, and dude, I was there for hours yesterday. Tom and Ryan went there for a sunset flight, but they were there for like over an hour and a half, close to 2 hours themselves. So I'm just trying to keep away from that island today, Yes, the normal one. And plus Pilot Pat was flying there this morning. That's kind of why I'm totally just staying away. Yeah, because why not? And plus I have a little bit of time. Might as well come down to this spot, you know what I mean? So dude, I'm actually going over the bridge right now, so if you have some time, I'm gonna try to fly around and maybe even hit like a restaurant on the beach here or something. That's what I mean. If I have to I might have to land on the beach and walk over a street. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna look it up. I'm just saying, if you have some time, dude, this is where I'm at, so yeah. So that's where, okay. Well, check it. Okay, well, listen, yeah, so you know where I'm going then. Follow me, and then if, maybe eat somewhere or something, I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna go to that spot and park. Where you just texted me the street name. Alright, yep, and then, alright, sounds good, man. I'll see you when I see you. Peace. Epic, just like that, Pilot Dave's gonna come. So, and what he'll probably do is, because he's down a prop right now, and if I would have known that he was gonna come, I would have brought my other prop, and he could have came up. I'm pretty much so far away from home that I'm not gonna turn back around. But that's okay. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna get ourselves to this street. And I'm going to type it in right now, just so I don't waste any time, right? Because I hate wasting time. But maybe Dave will know of a restaurant on the water, ocean outside, and maybe I'll be able to fly to him and hang out. Or vice versa, he's going to come to where I'm going to go park. and we're gonna go hang out over there. We'll see. So. Okay, that's not it. Okay, I just need to stay on the edge the whole time, and I'll run into it. Sorry, I hate trying to do this while I'm driving. Ah, here it is. Alright, we're 13 minutes away, guys. Perfect. Whoa, and this is a speed trap area too. I gotta really watch that. Strictly enforced. Alright, so now, dude, we're on a whole nother island. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited to come fly here. This beach is actually considered some of the biggest beaches that we have here on the island, which is so much fun, right? And not only that, it's just so much fun to be on a different island, right? Some of you guys know this island, and I don't mind to say this one because I don't typically fly here a lot, but we are allowed to fly here. But remember, can't stress this enough, please show respect if you ever come to any beach. Any beach. Doesn't matter if you're in New Jersey, you're in Florida, you're on any of the East Coast or the West Coast, anywhere. If you fly on the beach and you see lifeguards, one, that is already the big no way you can fly there. No way you can fly there. Two, you can't fly where there's a ton of people. You can't. And when you do that, bad things will happen, right? And if you do that, whoa, almost just ran a red light. And when you do that, you know, you're gonna hurt it for the actual locals. And I get it. A lot of people actually who paramotor travel, right? So I get it, but there is a lot of common sense that comes to this sport too. Like, you obviously get your proper training, you understand the laws, like you always gotta check for TFRs, you know, and temporary flight restrictions. You can't ever fly over people, you know. But really, what I've learned about all the beach flying that I do, and I fly all the time at beaches, and I mean a lot more than what most of you realize. But don't get it wrong, I fly a lot inland too. But the reason why I fly a lot of times at the beach is because we get these ocean winds, which are these laminar beach winds, right? And it's so buttery smooth sometimes that they're great, but they're always higher, right? And when the winds are higher, you can't necessarily go flying inland. Like, you can, but it makes it a very rough, scary flight, which I don't enjoy. Nobody does. So that being said, I come to the beach all the time, but I've learned a lot of rules. And if you go to the beaches, number one, lifeguards, man, no go. It's a no go. It's a no go. It's a no go. Like, I don't know how many more times I can say it. It's a no go. Lifeguards don't want to see it on the beach. They actually don't want to see it. It's one thing if you go by a lifeguard and all these people and you're flying over the ocean a few feet and you're up like almost as high as what the banner planes are flying, 100 feet to 200 feet, and you're cruising, not hanging out in one spot showing off. And two, it's like when there's a ton of people, when you go to foot launch, you're gonna take off, and it's gonna, no matter who takes the picture or the video, even if you claim that you didn't actually fly over anybody, the pictures and the videos are going to make it look different, like you are flying over people. Okay? Remember that. Not only that, you gotta remember too, it's just that, like, the more people that see it, the more likely a Karen's gonna be in the crowd that's gonna be like, I don't like that, you know? And like I said, all it's gonna take is one person to ruin it for everybody. And, you know, I just don't want to, how do you say it? Like, I just, you know, I don't want to see people coming around not having that common sense. And it's like, if I can make these videos and some of you guys see it, and you've never flown at the beach, or you have flown at the beach and you always wondered, like, hey, everyone who's always talked to me has been really cool, you know, because the off season is really like right now. This is peak time to be going to the beach when it's warm out like this, because right now these are my last couple of days of really getting to do it this comfortably, where I can kind of go at any time of the day I want. No lifeguards are here yet. There's no shoobies here yet. There's meaning like right now there's going to be some people on the beach, but it's not going to be crowded beaches, right? And that being said, I am trying so hard to stress it to people how important it is to really pay attention of your surroundings when you're a paramotor pilot, because we're already on such thin ice, what I'm learning about this sport, that we're at a fragile stage, I feel like, right now with paramotoring, that so many people are starting to realize what it is, how to get one. And you know what's crazy is that there's so many companies out there that'll just sell you a paramotor without like you having maybe any knowledge of experience, you know what I mean? And when you have no experience and you just buy an aircraft, it's actually insane, actually. Like, and that's what I did. You know, that's exactly what I did. And I did some foolish moves, and I have made some very big mistakes, but I have been so lucky to be surrounded by the right people. Yo, Danny, fly time. That's it, man. We're going flying right now, Scoob. We're going out to, and I'm going to say it now. So, Scoob, we're in Wildwood right now, dude. And we're on this other island that I don't always go get to fly at. But I like coming here to fly, Scoob, because it's a really big beach. Right now, there's no lifeguards still. So, we still have a fighting chance of just emptiness beaches and really good times, right? And really what's great is that we get this chance, right? And not only do we get this great chance of flying, we get to also go experience what it's like to be on these much greater beaches, right? Right here, too, Scoob. Right here is where they do the car shows. So every time, Scoob, when we come here in Wildwood and do the car shows, this is the whole strip. And we get to park the cars all cool sideways, not like how the cars are parked like you see. You know what I mean? Let's turn you back. So what's up, Scoob? What are you up to, man? Have you been flying? What's going on? Scoob, I replaced all my lines finally, but I still need to replace like 2 of my B lines. So I'm just going to replace all my B lines because there's 4 of them. So I might as well just replace all of them instead of just the 2, because I feel like if I stressed out 2 of them, I'm going to just might as well replace the rest. Replace. We got an air show this weekend. Oh, okay. So what's that mean? So you have temporary flight restrictions going on right now? Wow, they really are redoing this road here. This is crazy. So, like I said, it's just fun to be on a totally different island right now, Scoob. And right now, if you're not aware of where I'm at, I don't want to keep repeatedly saying it, but I did say it once already. So, but on this island, though, we're like a lot more South Jersey now than I typically fly at. And a lot of people just think that I live all the way at the bottom of Jersey, which I don't really live all the way at the bottom. But I normally just say that because so many people ask me where I live. Where do you live? Where do you live? Where do you live? And it's like basically, it's just to me an odd thing to ask. When I watch videos of other people, I never ask where they're at because, you know, I feel like it's really not cool. It's like it's your ultimate spot. So like once you find your good spot to go driving your cars at, you go your skateboarding spots, your biking spots, whatever. Your cool drinking spots, you know, it's like, what do you call it? You know, you don't ever want to brag and say where you're at, right? So it's like you got to watch what you say, what you do. You know, you don't want to be that guy, right? So really, I just don't like to blow up the spots. And plus, I'm actually the local pilots that I fly with because, you know, I like to always be polite. I like to ask everybody all the time if they care to be in the videos because, you know, I do nothing but make videos, you know, and I always respect everybody to the point where if you actually told me you didn't want to be in the video, I actually would probably just keep my cameras off. You know what I mean? Because really, unless we're in a new area. If we're in a new area, I'll just edit you completely out of the video. But I always give everybody that respect, you know what I mean? Because I'm not here to, you know, I'm not here to put anybody else online. And if I ever see like a mistake or a problem from anybody else, I would never share anybody else's faults, right? Like, I can't wait to share mine because it seems like they're the only time my videos go viral is when I clearly make a big mistake and all you guys get to point and laugh at me, you know? And really, you know, in my paramotoring experience, I have learned that at the end of the day, we all make mistakes. None of us are these perfect pilots. And really, I'm just here just trying to have a good time, you know? I just want to go out, hang out with people. I just want to go flying around. I just want to take it all in, you know? And really, I just want to share it with you guys too. Really, when I had all the GoPros in the beginning, this was never my plan. I never had the idea of like, oh, I'm going to be a YouTuber. This is what I'm destined to be, you know? It's never what I thought. What I was thinking in the beginning of my journey of trying to learn how to fly was I want to have cameras so I can put them in different angles and really watch how I'm doing my flying, how am I ground handling, what am I doing wrong, why am I falling over like this, when I come in to land, why am I landing so sideways every time when I'm coming in straight, all these little problems. And then I started to share them with people because a lot of people were like, dude, this is a really cool video, you should share it. And then I started sharing them, and then next thing you know, I was like so embarrassed to share some of those videos too with like friends because I didn't want to get made fun of, you know, of course, that I started up a TikTok account, and TikTok was blowing up. People were loving those videos. And then I posted a video on Facebook that was a reel. And once that reel went viral and it was of my car, it's what made me think about becoming a YouTuber. Like, okay, maybe I can start posting videos on YouTube, that maybe some of the videos that I'm making are worth posting on YouTube, right? And I can't believe it. Like, within like 4 months of me posting videos and actually trying to post videos like on YouTube and making video content for all of you guys to watch, I got monetized on YouTube, and I like couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that, wow, I can make money from here too, because I was making a little bit of money on Facebook. I was at the time making a little bit of money on TikTok, but what happened on TikTok, which sucks, is that TikTok took away my original account, which had all these videos on there from the very beginning, and I mean the very beginning. And it sucks because it's like heartbreaking to me, because there are like a lot of videos that I shared on there and deleted from my end and never shared it on any of the other platforms. And then, because I always thought it would never go anywhere, and then TikTok got erased, or that account got erased from me. And I think they took it down because I was doing so many live streams where I was driving a lot, and then I was doing a lot of like ground handling with my paramotors at the time, and then boom, it's like it just got taken away from me, which was super upsetting. What was that, Clayton? Because of bots? No, I didn't have that many followers on TikTok. Like, I think what was happening was that I was getting people more mad at me that I wasn't actually flying in my videos when I kept stating, like, I kept putting in my titles, I guess, paramotor flying. And it was just me in my yard, starting up my paramotor on my back and doing things like that with the paramotor. And I think so many people were getting offended that I wasn't like actually flying, that so many people were restricting my videos, you know what I mean? And it was so funny. And I think I know who the guy was, because he always made these like dirty comments, like, and he was the only guy that ever said things like, why do you write in your titles this and that when you're not even doing that? And it wasn't like I was lying to people. To me, if I had the paramotor on my back and it was running and I was doing tuning, I always looked at it like I'm flying. Like, I know you're not really flying, but if the motor's running on your back or you're kiting the glider over your head, to me, those two factors are I'm flying. But I know that I'm not really flying, but I do like to have that imagination that I really am, you know. That's why I wrote that in the titles and stuff. And you know what's crazy is that if we talk about bots, and I'm kind of glad that you brought that up, because one night I woke up on my Instagram having a ton of followers. I was like super excited, and two things happened that day with the bots. One, I had a guy hit me up telling me that he could change my life, this and that and whatever, and he told me that if I gave him money, he could change my life. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, right, you know. And he's telling me all this crap, and then he tells me, you know, I gotta pay. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing any of that, you know. And then I realized, you know, like, I don't want your services. This sounds very fishy. I don't even like what you're saying to me. Long story short, I woke up the next day, and then I just had, like, man, I couldn't believe it. On my Instagram, like, 40,000 new followers, right? And when I saw that, I'm like, whoa, this is awesome, right? But then I realized that they weren't real, right? They weren't real at all. And I was super upset because then I found out that it was that guy. He just did whatever I guess he does, and he just did it to like show me that he's legit, but he wasn't legit at all. It was a complete scammer. So then I reached out to, yes, exactly, right. And then what's so crazy, Scoob, is that you need to go into your account and search users and you will bots and yeah. So Clayton, I found that out. So I found out that on Instagram, because I kept trying to call like a number to actually talk to somebody on Instagram, because I got like a threat from like, it was a total fake person, a threat saying that because like I got all these fake bots or whatever, that I was gonna lose my Instagram. And I'm like, no, I don't want to lose it, because in reality I already had like 3,000 real people following me at that time, this was like 2 or 3 years ago that we're talking about too. And long story short, they literally I found out that I can go on this thing that did Instagram will scan all your followers, and they'll instantly, by the day, you know, always be taking out scammers by like the hundreds, you know what I mean? Which was nice. So what was really nice was I did that, and then by like a month later, it came back down, and then I was around 4,000 followers again, which was really nice, you know, because it was so stupid and exciting in the beginning, because I'm like, whoa, holy crap, I'm getting famous, you know. That's really what I thought. And then once I realized when I posted my next video and I got like no views on it, I'm like, whoa, something's wrong, you know. And then I realized when I started digging, I was like looking at all those accounts, and I'm thinking, what the fuck, none of these people literally post any videos, don't even like my videos. Like, what the hell, why are they even following me? Like, these are totally weird looking people. I shouldn't say they're weird looking, but they didn't look like they were into paramotoring or even to the car life. Like a ton of these girls and stuff like that, all scammed. Long story short, literally now I'm like floating like above 8,000 followers now on Instagram, which is sweet, you know. But really, it's like, but I kept that thing on there. And the same with Facebook, and the same with TikTok, you know what I mean? TikTok, there's also a thing on here where you can make sure that you keep actual bots off of your accounts, right? But really what I'm more worried about is always just getting kicked from my live streams and stuff like that, which is what I don't ever want to be happening, right? All right, so right now, everybody, we're here at the spot. I'll show you guys. This is it. So right on the other side is the beach, and what I'm going to do is what we'll do is we'll get out. I'll go give you guys a peek of what the beach is going to look like, and then what I'll probably do is it'll probably be easy. Well, maybe I can go. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I actually do, because I'm trying to debate. Like, should I could probably move up a little bit more too. What kind of wax do you use on your prop? I don't use any wax. I should be actually doing something, but my prop is actually getting pretty beat up though now. The 3-blade is actually so far along. Ooh, sorry about that. My 3-blade is so far along. You should, yeah. Normally I just like put a coating of like WD-40 on it, like every time, because like I go and fly, and then it gets all dirty, you know, from the beach stand and stuff. So I like wipe it down with that. So check it out. So here we are. walking onto the beach. Beach rules. Let's see if it says anything about paramotoring. Only swim at a lifeguard protection beach. Never swim alone. No. Before you go, obey, comply to all lifeguard rules. Obey post flags. Keep the beach water clean. If doubt, go. All right, look at that, guys. See, you see it. It doesn't say anywhere about no paramotoring. So check it out. We're gonna walk down this whole path, and then we're gonna go way out there, out to that epicness, which I'm pretty excited about. Sorry about that. I hit my mute. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, I guess I'll set up the pedestal, my little tripod thing or whatever. We'll get the paramotor off. We'll start to unload it. And I guess once I get out to the beach, I'll probably shut down the live stream and probably start up another one maybe once we're up in the air. And you guys, I do a lot of my TikTok lives now flying because, like I said, I get a ton of people that come in and watch that. So make sure you guys go over to my TikTok account. My TikTok account is Flying Dan with a sedan, not with the 29 in it, and it's all together. So don't miss out on that. All right, so let's go get my tripod. We're going back to the van right now. There's the van. I gotta make sure too. Oh yeah, it looks like I might have to pay for parking. See, that's crazy. I guess it's time to start paying for parking again, which is crazy. Okay. All right, so boom, the van life. Got the the Roadster 322 meter. Okay, so let's get the tripod going here. Oop. Sorry. Man, it's hard to do this.